Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Obi from Vision Straight. We go to a lot of optometric practices. We spend a lot of time doing training and development, and the whole point of it is how do we get you as the business leader to operate at the highest possible level so that your team can operate at the highest possible level and that your practice can also operate at the highest possible level of excellence, revenue growth, and transformation, so that your patients can be able to experience the best visual experience or patient care that they rightfully deserve. And so in doing that and going all over the country, different countries as well, looking at what optometric practices can be able to do in order to achieve that, we get asked a lot of questions at time. And one of those questions is the journey of a patient from start to finish, from the minute they come in to making those appointments and the journey that they go through and what happens post that journey. And so in our book, Vision Straight Strategic Guide for Optometric Practices, we actually, right at the beginning of the book, we've got our various guidelines that we go into, just highlighting key concepts or ideas or strategies that you and your entire team can ponder on and look at and implement within your respective optometric practices or ophthalmology practices, so that that which you set out as a goal for your patients, you know that you've got the strategies in place, the approach in place in order to achieve it, so that it actually happens on a day-to-day basis with each and every single person that walks through your optometric practice or your ophthalmology practice. And so I decided the best way to answer this is to actually go to the book and break it down for you guys in terms of how we approach it in the book. There's about 5 practice guidelines, and in this particular video we'll do practice guideline number 1. And titled here, it actually falls under tip 1, the sales journey process of a consumer in the optometric practice. The reason why we say consumer and not patients, we look at it, eye care has got 3 components to it. It's got the academic or educational phase, it's got the health or clinical phase, and then it's got the business or sales phase. Any practice that wants to experience massive growth and exponential sales, all 3 components need to work cohesively and effectively with one another on a day-to-day basis. So that will mean that the people that come to our optometric practices cannot be boxed into one title, that being patient, because they're going to experience different aspects of what we do when they come to our optometric practices. And so we refer to them as consumers. Within consumers then, we've got patients, customers, and clients. The patient, we see it as that person that comes to your practice for the very first time. They don't have any previous history of going to have an eye examination, let alone complaining about their eyes. And this is that person that literally starts from zero. Identifies that they've got a problem, not sure what that problem could be, but they just know that they are not comfortable as they would like to be whenever they are using their eyes, which is at different instances, right? So that's the patient. So when that person comes to your practice for the very first time, there's no way that you could be treating that person the same way as the person that has been coming to your practice for the 10th time, or who already has an experience of having worn glasses before, contact lenses and so forth. So there are certain things that your team needs to be aware of right from the onset. There are certain things that your team needs to be doing from an educational point of view, that journey process that we're going to go into right now. There are key elements that the patient needs to be aware of right from the onset. Whereas the customer, that's the person that has made a purchase for their eyewear related needs. So a customer could be someone that already has had an eye examination before. It might not necessarily be from your practice. It could have been from elsewhere before, and now they come into your practice for the first time, but they've already been wearing glasses before. Or it could be someone who came to your practice for the very first time 2 years ago, 1 year ago, made a purchase, got their prescription, and they're coming back now for the second time. So we categorize that type of individual whom you have not been seeing over a sustained period of time as the customer. Whereas the client, that's your person, the person that for all the visual and eye care related needs, they keep coming back to your optometric practice year after year. And so that is the client. So you've got patient, customer, and client. And so the sales journey process of a consumer, now that I've given you the definition, within the optometric or ophthalmology practice, we break it down as follows. And this is tip number 1 under practice guideline. And the title there is Consumer Analytics. And we just give a short summary so that you can take key elements from what we're going to be sharing with you and look at how does it apply within your optometric practice. And so the first one here is, the first part of the process is all about providing information. And we've got some statements that we've written here. What is the process involved in the examination? It needs to be thoroughly explained to that particular consumer. Tell them why we examine their eyes. Elaborate on the processes involved. Go into detail about the different outcomes that could be expected. Then share with them what the way forward will be. So let me make it practical for you guys. I'm just giving you a summary of what's written in the book. Person is walking through the mall and they're going from one practice to another practice, asking, hi, how much does it cost to have my eyes examined? They're coming into your practice. The minute someone walks into your practice and says, hello, I want to get my eyes examined, how much does it cost? Already, your staff should be in a position where they can identify that, wait a minute, that means this person has never come here before. Definitely not a client, potentially also not a customer, so this is a patient. And they can see that this person is not wearing glasses or contact lenses. So when we say provide information, and that person is coming in with a question like that, already your staff member needs to put their A game on. They need to have the information readily available to say, sir or ma'am, the eye test costs this much, and this is what's involved in the eye examination. Have you had your eyes examined before? No, this will be the first time I'm having my eyes examined. What prompted you to want to have your eyes examined? The patient or the individual is going to tell you, no, when I'm sitting in front of a computer screen, I just feel like my eyes get tired after a while. So I just feel like I'm not as comfortable as I used to be, and I'm not sure whether it's my eyes or something else. So that's why I wanted to make an appointment. Well, fantastic. Part of the eye examination that we do is we do the following. We probe you, we ask you various questions, we do various diagnostic testing. You're going to go in with the optometrist. Optometrist is going to sit with you, perform various other procedures to be able to determine what else over and above what you have complained about your eyes could also be wrong. And the entire examination process will reveal what the actual problem is or problems are. And throughout that process, we will then be able to then provide you with the necessary solutions that will pertain to your visual needs. And so you mentioned you're spending a lot of time in front of a computer and you get uncomfortable during certain periods, right? You mind if I ask, how much time are you spending overall in front of digital devices? So your staff member is getting as much information as possible. So why is that important? Because that person that walks around comes into your practice and asks, how much does it cost to have my eyes examined? That means there's a high probability that they've gone into 2 or 3 other practices within your area. So if you just say the price, or like if you're watching from other parts of the world, in South Africa sometimes I have found the problem, and I don't like this a lot. A person will come into the practice and they will ask, how much does it cost to have your eyes examined? To have my eyes examined, and the staff member will say, is it cash or medical aid? If you go back to my initial response, I did not ask that question, cash or medical aid. I just firstly got that person to be aware of what we do, what we offer here, before I even touch the price, right? So even if I mention the price, I just mentioned the standard price, I've got no interest in whether is it cash or medical aid, because if a person will then say to you medical aid, then the staff member shockingly then says, well, it depends on the medical aid that you are on. But if it's cash, this is the amount. You're not going to be seeing people coming to your practice with 20 different medical aids. There's a baseline of medical aids that you see on a regular basis. So even if it's medical aid, you should already, as a staff member, or you must make sure as a business owner that your staff are fully aware of what are the 5 or 10 common medical aids that we are seeing, or insurance companies that we are seeing in our area, what are the different benefit options that are available, and what each of them cost for the eye examination. But that should not be the focus. Why? Because if you just say the eye examination is going to be 400 rands, but wait a minute, there's the contact lens assessments, there's the glaucoma screening, there's all these others, the dry eye assessments. These are all other costs that could be associated with the overall eye examination process. So if you are just saying the price without providing that person with the necessary information that pertains to what else can be wrong, you are limiting what you can be able to do to the or for the patient in the long run. So don't be so focused on being so quick to just give the price, because if the practice down the road gave the price, that means that person is just going to go with which practice was more friendlier, more welcoming. Oh, that one is cheaper. So if everyone was welcoming, everyone was friendly, and you are the most expensive, why would I come to you instead of going to the practice 3 or 4 shops down the road? Or so make sure that you're providing the person with the necessary information, telling them why we're examining their eyes, elaborating on the procedures involved. So your team needs to know all the diagnostic equipment that is in your practice. What is it that it does? What is it that it checks for? You might not have all this fancy equipment, but your staff members need to be aware what process you follow when you are in the examination room, so that they've got confidence when they're communicating with their patients who are making those appointments for the very first time, that they can be able to provide them with the necessary information. It just gives, and when you do that, you're doing it with so much confidence, so much clarity. You put the person at ease that, wait a minute, I actually do have a problem, and this practice is committed to showing me that they can actually help me solve my problem. So that is something that your staff members need to be in a position to be able to do comfortably and confidently. So that's the first part. You provide information. Let's say it was someone that already comes in wearing glasses, and they come into your practice and they say, hi, how much does it cost to have my eyes examined? And someone is already, you can see they're wearing a pair of glasses. That if they're asking that question, that's where the customer component comes in. That means this is a person that has not been at your practice before. So that's a perfect opportunity to win that person over. I mean, I get shocked sometimes how people will not spot that, take advantage of that, and secure those appointments. So that person is wearing glasses. Sir, ma'am, depending on who you're talking to, the eye examination is costing so much, and then you go again, repeat the process, and this is what's involved. We do this, and it will give us information about this. I see you wearing a pair of glasses. When did you get that pair of glasses? The person will tell you, I got them 2 years ago. So what was it your first pair of glasses, or do you have a long-standing history of wearing glasses? It was my second pair of glasses. Where did you get your pair of glasses from? I got them from this place, I was living there. Why are you not going back there? See, you're probing the person now. So that person all of a sudden gives you information that, no, I was not happy with the service there, I was not happy with this, I was not happy with this, or I've changed location. So already when you are busy providing information, you are also asking the questions right there and then, because of it's going to give you an indication of what's important to this person. Why all of a sudden they're going to be wearing their third pair of glasses, but they come into their second or third optometrist. Something is wrong with regards to their experience from the first optometrist to the second optometrist, and now they're coming to you right now. So you need to be focusing on those elements or aspects of what they're talking to you about or saying to you that is making them jump from one optometrist to another, instead of settling in at one particular practice that they're going to have the entire eye care journey with them in the long run. So you see that person is wearing glasses, and you're asking them questions as well. That how much time are you spending in front of a computer? The person says, I spend the whole day in front of a computer and my cell phone and TV and all of that. and you can see that they don't have a coating on their glasses, or their lenses are scratched, they've got a coating. And so with your glasses, have you always had the coating? So your staff now also need to be in a position where they know the different anti-reflective coatings, tints and all of that are supposed to be on spectacles, because then you already, as you are talking to that person whom you're providing information with, you might not have a notebook readily available, but you're locking it in the back of your mind, so that the minute this person leaves, all this information that you've been sharing and receiving from this person, you have written it down somewhere, that you have communicated, you're going to be communicating it with the respective optometrist, so that the time that person then comes for the first appointment that you have now secured, the optometrist is picking up the conversation from where you left it. They're not starting the process from scratch. The optometrist is now in a position to know that the problem areas are 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so we need to make sure that we first solve those problem areas. You could be amazed at the fact that the problem had nothing to do with the glasses, was just the experience. So if you as a team focus on that experience, that person who's a customer coming to your practice for the first time, if you guys get that right, it makes the process of what you guys are going to be doing in providing that person with the best pair of glasses, contact lenses, sunglasses, and all of that worthwhile. So that's what you do. The client is not going to ask you, how much does it cost to have my eyes examined? That doesn't happen. It's going to come from either a person who's a patient or who's coming for that first-time visitor, or someone who has been wearing glasses but they never got those glasses from you guys before. So that is how the providing of the information should flow between yourself and the person who's coming into your practice for the very first time, or the second, the first time that they're going to be having their eyes examined by you. Another problem could be different. It could be someone who is browsing around, doing shopping. They maybe got their eye examination elsewhere, or they got frames elsewhere, and they're looking for something else. You just need to know what are the common questions, right, that people will present with if they are first-time visitors to your optometric practice. You need to, as a team, sit together to say, hey guys, this is the list of, and there's not a lot, the list of stuff or statements or questions that people who come to our practice will come presenting with for the very first time as questions. How do we approach it? This way, that way, that way, that way. And you can select one a week and have a discussion around a round table with each other on one subject. You break it down to say, hey, a 55-year-old Caucasian male who comes with this question, this is what you would pick up from them. A 20-year-old Indian female who presents with the same question, it will come across this way. So you always do a play on roles, on different scenarios that patients or customers will present with when they are first-time visitors. And that does not take long. That's like 10-minute conversations. Do a team hurdle quickly and discuss that. But there should be something where on a regular basis, you guys as a team are discussing how do we approach our first-time visitors or first-time visitors who are inquiring about anything pertaining to what we do as a team. How do we tackle the different scenarios? What are the different scenarios that can present themselves in the practice, so that then we know that everyone is well trained, well equipped, well informed to be able to provide the necessary information to the respective individual, so that we can win them over and get those appointments in. That's the simplest approach that we highly recommend in the book. The second part, that was just the first statement. The second part here, we then go through the examination process. So in the examination process, we say, discover as much as possible about the individual concerns, we reach the diagnosis and make it clear that the consumer understands it. We investigate their lifestyle and leisure activities, look into the different solutions that are available. Then we discuss with the consumer the different management solutions or options that are readily available for them. So all of that is now jam-packed in the examination process. And so if you're thinking about, perhaps in some practices, you've got a team of optical assistants that do the diagnostic tests, right, or procedures. You've got a diagnostic room where before they come into the examination room, they're going into the diagnostic room, and your optical staff are the ones that are performing those procedures. That's the time where your team needs to be engaging the person. So if you are doing checking the visual fields, if you've got this person checking their pressure, checking anything basically, you are providing them with information even during that particular process. Because a lot of patients, when they come to you, they have not experienced some of the examination procedures or diagnostic procedures that perhaps your practice does. And maybe they have before, but they were not aware of what that particular procedure is for. So during the time when you're examining, you want to discover as much as possible about their visual concerns. So during that time, you're asking them about their lifestyle, their leisure activities. What is it that they like doing? Perhaps someone has been wearing glasses for the last 10 years, right? A 35-year-old guy, been wearing glasses for the last 10 years, but you look at them and you can see that this person is very sports orientated. You could see he does a lot of outdoor activities, he gyms a lot, he's just very active, he's looking like he's fit, but he's wearing glasses, and he's been wearing glasses for 10 years. Then you ask him, while you're doing the examination or diagnostic procedures, you're like, do you wear contact lenses? And then he's like, no, I've never thought of contact lenses. And then that's an opportunity where you now are introducing contact lens in the equation, because now you have picked up that cycling is important to him, running is important to him, going to the gym is important to him, and whenever he does those activities, you pick up that he doesn't wear his glasses during those activities. Why are you waiting at the end of the examination to be able to then come and talk to him about contact lenses? And he's a -2, for example, and you've got trials readily available in the practice. You should already at that moment introduce the conversation around contact lenses, already introduce the conversation around various ways in which we can improve his visual experience. Perhaps he's got zero interest in contact lenses. They have spoken about contact lenses before, but you still have an opportunity when you observe that the glasses that he's wearing have got the most basic coatings on them, and you know that you can actually enhance this person's visual experience with better technology lenses. So why not make him aware of that, and you've tied that up to what's important to him. That's how you create dialogue. That's how you engage the patient, or the customer. That's how you provide them with information. You're providing them with information based on what you have picked up is important to them. It's critical to them when it comes to their visual requirements and needs. So you're not just being random, but you provide information, you probe them, you're getting as much information as you possibly can from them, so that when you continue providing them with information through the examination process, you're tying it up with that which will elevate the entire visual overall experience. And that's how you win people over, because you're taking them from where they are when they walk into your practice to a place where they did not have an awareness that they're supposed to be at. And that person, when you can be able to change their visual experience at that level at which the things that are important to him are solved, that person becomes your biggest practice advocate. And that person will tell their friends, their family, their colleagues about how his vision has evolved and what you as a practice have done in elevating his visual experience. So that's what we mean about what you do throughout the examination procedure. So even if someone perhaps is only having one pair of glasses, but they've got so many other activities that they're doing, your staff should be in a position where they can introduce multiple pairs of spectacles, multiple pairs of sunglasses, contact lenses in the mix. I'm a firm believer that I'm going to talk to each and every single person in a manner in which I'm going to get as much information about what they do, when they do it, how they do it, why they do it, so that when I then come and provide, remember we said here, we look at different solutions that are available, and then we discuss with the consumer the different management options available. When I have all that information from the examination, and as I get the information, I already start laying the seed for potential solutions that we're going to discuss at the end. So I'm not doing everything and waiting until the end. I'm already tying what the problem is what the I'm getting what the problem is from them. I'm showing them what the examination results are already showing us. And at that moment already, I'm highlighting key aspects about how we're going to solve those particular problems and what options are readily available. So if a person is falling into that category, but I can see that they're already wearing basic pairs of glasses, but they want more, they need more, they deserve more, but they can't afford more because the medical aid right at the beginning already put them in that box. But the way I'm approaching the examination, the way I'm conducting the examination, the way I'm communicating with them, I'm constantly now showing them the importance of glasses over a pair of shoes, a pair of jeans. So you're already now changing or transforming this person to think about their vision completely differently from how they have the past 10 years. All of a sudden, when you introduce multiple pairs of glasses to them, in conjunction with contact lenses, sunglasses, and it's tied up to their visual experience at the end of the day, it's tied up to how they're going to experience the things that are important to them at the end of the day. All of a sudden, price is not an issue because they will go back and look at which areas in their life can they change or adapt in order to have the best eyewear solutions for their visual needs, in order to do the things that they love even better or experience them even better. So that's basically the approach there when you're examining the person. So you're not waiting until the end. And so even if you're introducing something, it's tied into that which is going to elevate the entire experience. Next, number 3, we say here, educate. Once you've provided information, done the examination, take a step back and just educate. Thoroughly explain yourself again to the consumer. Make sure that the consumer clearly understands what is going on with their vision. Inspire trust and build a solid connection with the consumer. And then showcase your expertise. So for me, what I mean about showcasing my expertise, if someone is throughout the examination procedure that I'm doing, I might not be in a practice with the fanciest of equipment or the fanciest of stuff, but I know that I can do the basics in a very fancy way. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into as much detail with the basic resources that are readily available to me, but I'm going to make sure that I do it well. I execute on the basics exceptionally well, because that person might have been wearing glasses for 10 years, but the eye examination that I'm doing is going to be exceptional. So I'm very cognizant of that. Am I going to give this person an exceptional experience when I'm doing their eye examination? And that already could stand out. Doing certain procedures that you can do, or examination tests that you can do with your phoropter, your trial case set, you'll be amazed at how many things that you can be able to do that patients will be like, I've been getting my eyes examined for the last 10 years. No one has ever done this for me. No one has ever done this for me. I will take the Ishihara test. The Ishihara test, checking for color blindness. I will take that process, thinking to myself that this person, I will do this examination procedure as if it's the best thing that has ever happened to his eyes. So I will be very, very intentional about each and every single procedure that I'm doing in examining this person, so that, and I'm taking that opportunity to educate them all the time when I'm doing it, so that I can show them that I am committed to giving them the most exceptional eye examination procedure that they rightfully deserve. So, but imagine now what you can do when you've got all this fancy equipment in your optometric practice, how much you can elevate the examination processes that you can do. So education is key. Education is key. Break it down for yourselves with your team. Which aspects of the patient journey that your staff can educate people at the front of the practice versus the stuff that you can educate the patient on in the examination room. So someone comes in, they're early for their appointment, you're still busy in the examination room with another appointment, and you're going to do a handover of the file and the selecting of frames to the staff member, and while you take in the next patient, During that time when that person is waiting there, that's in a time where your staff members are probing that person, educating them, especially if it's first-time visitors. Let them educate that person about their vision, about eyes, about how to take care of their eyes, about things that they must be aware of in terms of when to examine their eyes, the regularity of it, all the things that are exposing our eyes to our eyes not functioning at the optimal level. So if you have to put a screen in the front of the practice that constantly plays educational videos related to the eyes, you need to do that. If you have to take your television from home and put it in the practice so that there's some form of educational tool that you can be able to play constantly in the practice for your patients who are sitting in the waiting room before they're going in for their eye examination, do that. And focus on key elements. So play stuff on the screen that focuses on key elements about what enhances their visual performance, a visual experience. Don't play random stuff on the television. Put stuff on there that pertains to what people are seeing versus what they should be seeing. Then when you come in here and people have already been sitting there for some time, sometimes it's a matter of having a screen that faces, if you're in a practice that's in the shopping mall, if you have to have a screen that faces on the outside, where people are passing on the window and outside and they can see, don't put promotions there. Put promotions and educational content that is quick bites that people can pick up of, dry eye, contact lenses, screen time, whatever it is, driving at night, whatever it is, sporting activities, contact lenses. Put all of that type of stuff on there that is simple to see, simple to understand. It captivates your attention very quickly, and then it already does half the work. When they come in here to the examination room, you've already started that process already. You've laid the seed in their minds, so it makes life easier for you. Number 4, ask questions. So we say here, establish a two-way interaction between you and the consumer. Break through different communication barriers. Address all concerns raised. Provide reassurances. Build confidence. So throughout the time that you are doing all of this type of stuff, some of these things, they don't necessarily go in the order that I'm saying them. They could be intertwined with one another. You could be asking questions while you're examining. You could be asking questions while you're providing information. But that's an important element of the sales journey process that you need to be aware of in terms of establishing a two-way interaction between you and the consumer. And sometimes you could be speaking a different language to that person. So when you then take a step back and asking those questions between yourself and the person, it makes that life easy because you then can pick up from the responses that they're going to give you what else is that they realize that they didn't tell you at the beginning of the examination process. Now you're asking them a question about stuff that they love doing. All of a sudden, you realize that this person, every time they're going out, they don't wear their glasses. And that is a perfect opportunity for you then to introduce contact lenses to them. Now, you're introducing contact lenses from the context of what's important to them. Because perhaps before, they thought that contact lenses, they don't want to put a foreign object in their eye. But all of a sudden now, this lady who's sitting in front of you, you're asking them questions and you're now giving them the benefits of contact lenses in relation to their visual needs. All of a sudden, it's no longer a foreign object. And you could be in a practice already where in the examination room, like right now here, there's the sink, there's all the contacts and stuff are right in front of me here. So you could already use that opportunity to put a trial lens in their eye and say, hey, you know what, you've always had this fear of contact lenses. Let me show you something. Put the contact lens in the eye. You see why you shouldn't be saying the eye examination is costing 200 rands or 400 rands or 600 rands and leave it at that? Because there's so many other elements that are going to take place throughout the examination procedure that your staff need to be aware of. So now you have not limited that. So the eye examination is from this amount, because now when you introduce the contact lens aspect, depending on your approach in doing it, you put the contact lens in the eye, and this person now has this contact lens in their eye. And because remember, you've already done the examination procedures, you've already examined them, you already know what the prescription is, you've already discussed the management solutions. But now because of you now asking them a question, you find out that going out at night is something that they do 2 to 3 times a week, and they literally don't do it with glasses. When they go to the gym, they're going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, and they literally don't wear glasses. But you realize now that you've now put these trial contact lenses in their eye for that short period of time, and all of a sudden they are amazed at the type of vision that they have with contact lenses on, and how the activity is going to change because they're not compromising on their vision. And now this person who was going to be here in your practice for a basic eye examination, all of a sudden sees the importance of having 2 to 3 pairs of spectacles, a pair of contact lenses, prescription sunglasses, and all of that. So the dynamic in terms of how you're taking that person's visual experience to a whole nother dimension, a whole nother level, changes significantly, simply because of going throughout the sales process of the consumer. And this builds confidence, when you can probe someone, it gives you information about what's important to them and how you can be able to solve that. So the next one here, number 5, you say convince the consumer on the following. So after you've asked them questions, after you've done everything, you've done all your examination procedures. Remember, at this stage, we've not even picked up glasses. You're just creating an experience. Sometimes, by the way, a person comes into your practice wearing glasses and they're not happy with the glasses. Maybe it was the fit, maybe not. I'm not talking about the lenses, I'm just talking about the frames and everything. Someone comes into your practice, they're not happy with how the frames were sitting. They constantly used to do this a lot. It was not comfortable here. Whatever it is that was a problem, I would start solving that first. So already, someone comes in, they've been wearing glasses for 10 years, but they're coming to you for the first time, or they've been wearing glasses for 4 years, but they're coming to your practice for the first time. I would start there, because that is what irritates them the most. If I pick up from examination procedure that is what's important to them, I will have that locked in. So if I need to go take glasses, and that's the other thing, you and your team need to be so confident with every single piece that's on the frame or on the shelves, so that you can see this person likes the styles, this is the look and feel, this is the type of frames that they're into. This is especially with, think about it this way, especially with people that have been coming to your practice for multiple times, and you already have an idea of what they like. Why are they choosing frames for themselves if you already know what they like? You should already be in a position where you can select frames for them. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Let's not deviate. So I would go and get frames, get them here, and showcase what a frame is supposed to be done. Then I'm saying to them, hey, you know what? Your prescription is high, and you have not been enjoying your glasses because of your prescription. Your lenses are a bit thick, and the frames that you've been choosing don't correspond with the lenses that you have. So the best way for us to solve this is thinning out your lenses, putting the necessary coating on your glasses, and making sure that the frame fits that. And because of the different activities that you do, leisure and sporting activities that you do, you actually need more than one pair of glasses. A lot of the times, practices focus on this buy one, get one free. And the free pair is always seen as a secondary option. Our approach is completely different as Vision Street. We see it as person needs to be leaving with what they, do you buy a secondary TV? Say, this is the main TV, that's the secondary TV. Or do you buy shoes and say, oh, this is my main bag, this is my not so main bag. It doesn't work like that. Our eyes are more important than our feet. So why compromise when it comes to what people are going to be getting? So pair one, this is what we're putting on pair one, and this is what you're going to be experiencing. This is when you're using pair one. Pair two, this is what we're putting on. This is what you're going to be experiencing on pair two. That's how you approach it. This is why we're introducing contact lenses. This is when and how you should be wearing your contact lenses. Sunglasses, this is what you're going to be getting on your sunglasses. This is the type of sunglasses that you need. This is how it's going to improve and elevate your visual experience or enhance that which you're currently experiencing right now. And if these things are operating here, the problems that you normally complain of will not be there. So for me, I will be showing the person the importance of why we need to upgrade their current coating, their current lenses, their current frame, and why they should not compromise when it comes to the things that they take on that second pair of glasses or that third pair of glasses. Perhaps they're not in a position to afford it now, but they can be in a position to afford it in 2 to 3 months' time. Then we'll get it in 2 to 3 months' time. But I will not compromise on getting the sale for someone who is not going to be using their second pair of glasses the way they're going to need that pair of glasses. So sometimes, if you have showcased your expertise, remember the previous one we were saying on number 4, asking questions. One of the things that we said here, you're addressing all concerns raised, you're providing reassurances, and you're building confidence. So if you know that you provided information, you examined well, you asked them questions, and all of that has won them over already, it becomes easier then when you know that someone cannot spend money on the products that you're recommending now today, but they can do so in 2 to 3 months' time. But you already have their buy-in. It's going to be easier for them to come. So you're going to get to a point one day in your practice where people are not going to be buying or purchasing products from you every 2 years when they come for their eye examination. You want to get to a point where every 6 months people are buying products from you. I see this with my wife. She buys bags all the time. She buys certain things that she needs all the time. Eyes are more important. Eyes are more important. And so we need to showcase why eyes are more important, what we can do to enhance people's visual experience, and what does that mean for their activities that they love doing. All right, so on this point number 5, where we say you now have to convince the consumer on the following: what the problem is or what the problems are, what causes them, what do you do about them or what to do about them, what are the features, benefits and values of the management solutions that we have proposed, what is the value for money that they're getting, the prognosis. And when we say value for money, people always look at one of two things. What will they be gaining if they go with what you're recommending versus what will they be losing if they go without it? That's basically what people do on a day-to-day basis with regards to most things. So if the value that they're going to get is bigger than that which they're going to be experiencing if they don't go without, you're going to win them over. Simple as that. And the prognosis of the problem. So you take people on a journey in the sense that someone comes in, they complain that, you know what, I did not like this coating, I did not experience. Someone comes in from the very start, they've got a coating on their glass, but they already tell you this coating did not do that which the optometrist said it will do. Well, it was a basic coating and you needed more. There are options, there are solutions readily available. Upgrade. Always look for the upgrade potential or opportunity with each and every single person. Someone could be coming to your practice, for the client who's been coming to your practice, a change of ownership has taken place in the practice, change of optometrists has taken place in the practice, change of staff members. You pick up the file and you see that this person has been wearing glasses for the last 10 years, but they're on a basic pair of anti-reflective coating. They keep getting the buy one get one free special. I don't know why we promote that, but anyway, that's a topic for another day. And the second pair never has a coating, and the one that does have a coating has got a basic coating on it. This means this person keeps coming to the practice and we're giving him or her the bare minimum. We're not looking for upgrading it. A person has been coming here for 10 years and there's not once in the file where we tried contact lenses. Not once in the file do we pick up that they've got prescription sunglasses. Something's wrong. Something is wrong with that. So we need to constantly showcase how technology has evolved, showcase how new technology on patients' glasses can improve their visual experience, and tie that with the things that are important to them. So I don't understand when there are no notes on patients' files. That I don't understand, because a staff member does not need to be looking at the inside of the examination card, because that's private information. But there has to be a section on your examination card where it's critical notes that influence, impact, or affect the sales process of that person's journey with you guys. And that's what we mean about when you're convincing them of this, when you're going through this process, you need to give your staff members a guidelines on, oh, this is this person last time, and make notes. This person didn't get anti-reflective coatings or blue control coating, whatever the coating that you put on there. before, but it was discussed with them last time. So when you pick up the file now and they come for their annual eye examination, all of a sudden there's a note there that says, we discussed it last time, they couldn't afford it, they couldn't get it, but we're going to pick up the conversation again today. So make notes that influence or that are specific to the sales process of that person's eye care journey with you. Then number 6, persuade them on the following. Remember, the previous one was convince them. The next one is persuade them on the following. What action to take, what decisions to make, getting their buying in, guarantees regarding the product or solutions that you have offered, impact of the management solution on their life. What will they be gaining if they go with what you're recommending versus what will they be losing if they don't? Number 7, so basically, have confidence in what you're saying. For example, I don't wear contact lenses. I struggle to put contact lenses in my eye. I'm an optometrist myself, but I've struggled. I struggled from varsity days in putting a contact lens in my eye. But I love outdoor activities, and I used to always have multiple pairs of glasses, but it just didn't give me the experience that I wanted to get, because it was not, and this is my personal experience, it was not nice for me to do some of those activities with glasses. So I made sure that if I've got leisure exporting or leisure activities, I had the most ideal frames that best optimized my visual experience for that particular activity, so that I'm not compromising on my vision whilst I'm doing that activity. So I couldn't wear contact lenses, but I made sure that I've got the frame options or solutions readily available with the different coatings that I needed. Was it an expensive exercise? Absolutely. Thank goodness I'm in the industry and I could get some of those stuff sponsored, but it was an expensive exercise. But I realized that it helped me, or it influenced how I communicated with my patients, because I had patients that will come in, they love cycling or they loved running, but they struggled with the contact lenses. But we got them frames that could best optimize that, and then they did not compromise when it came to that, because the visual experience was enhanced and not compromised. And that means that when they were doing the particular sporting activities or leisure activity, they enjoyed it just as much, because nothing was compromised when it came to their vision. That's why, for me personally, over the long run, even though I had the best frame options readily available for myself, I still wanted more. Hence, I did LASIK surgery for myself, because I did not want the dependency on glasses the way I had. But that was a personal decision for me. So I went the LASIK route so that I don't have to wear glasses at all. But that was my own personal journey. So in your case, you're not doing the LASIK, you're not having those visual demands, and you're sitting in front of a patient who's got those visual demands, and you then are persuading them that, hey, I don't have this problem, but guess who does? My colleague. My colleague has got a similar scenario than you, and this is how we are solving that problem for them, and this is how they're experiencing these activities, because they present with a similar case to you. Hey, I don't wear contact lenses, but my colleague does, and this is, before she used to wear contact lenses, this is what she was experiencing. Now that she wears contact lenses, this is what she's experiencing, and that's how you communicate and persuade with patients. And so don't limit how you're communicating with patients. Always have practical examples that that particular patient that sits in front of you can relate with, that you can be able to say, hey, we helped someone else this way who presented with something that was similar to you, and so if we could help them, we can most certainly help you, because their prescription was more complicated, more difficult compared to what you're presenting with, and their demands were more than yours, and they've got solutions that are helping them. So we can most certainly upgrade you from the solution that you currently have been on to a better one. Is it going to be more? Yes, it's going to be more, but you're going to experience more as well. So that's just how you take a person on a journey. And then of course, deliver, and that's number, when we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on number 7, deliver. We say, always over deliver, exceed expectations, no manipulations, provide value, and if you can't provide value, relook at your entire business model. But for me, this whole process that I'm talking to you about, I do it with every single patient. That's why I can't understand, how do you examine a person in 15 minutes? That I can't understand. Or 20 minutes, I just don't understand. But that's a topic for another day. So, you never compromise on your integrity. You always go the extra mile for your consumers. And always remember that after-sales service is just as critical as the pre-sale service. That patient who's going to be wearing glasses for the very first time, how do you not communicate with that person about months later? We've got, I think it's in this book, just don't remember which chapter it is. We've got a section where we highlight the follow-up protocol. If you are interested, you can actually reach out to us directly, ob@visionstraight.co.za, and we can provide you with a follow-up protocol in terms of how do you follow up with the first-time visitor, how do you follow up with the customer, how do you follow up with the client, what you should do when you're following up, what are the different mechanisms of following up that you can do to ensure that the after-service sale protocols that you need to be implementing are just at the top level as the pre-service sales or service that you rendered. And so that's always deliver. So the only way you can exceed expectations if you know what those expectations are. So this whole process that we have gone through, right at the start, sort of like identify, highlight what our patients' expectations, requirements are, deliver over and above what those expectations are by giving them an exceptional experience throughout the process, and that's how you win them over. And the last part here, follow up. So the different schedules of the different consumers, we can provide that for you. Have clear after-service care plans that you have in place. Work on getting referrals weekly. Request consumer feedback, especially from people that have been in your practice for a very, very long time. So for me, person comes, we upgraded the eyewear. I'm going to follow up with them, whether it be after a month or 2 months. I'm going to, hey, this is Obi from this practice, wanted to reach out to you. Don't just send a text message. I'm going to pick up the phone, call this person that which I said the classes are going to be doing, isn't doing that. How are they experiencing that? They're going to tell you, hey, I'm actually enjoying them. Thank you so much for recommending this. You know that second pair that you said I must get? I'm actually thinking, now that I see that this thing is actually helping me, I'm going to come in 2 months' time to come and get the other pair of glasses because I want all my pairs of glasses to have the same coating on them. Ah, fantastic. Can I call you in this date, or can we send you a reminder on this date just to have follow-up with you? Oh, fantastic. Hey, this person, you love golf as an optometrist, and this person loves golf, or you love cycling, this person, hey, next time, please invite me to do cycling with you. Boom. Relationship built. Or different approach. Remember we just said, work on getting those referrals weekly. Now you have followed up a month later and you have delivered. You have exceeded expectations. You have delivered on what you promised out. Patient is happy. Ask for the referral. Hey, if you've got colleagues, friends, family members who tell you about their visual problems, do recommend us. If you are happy with us, do recommend us. That's how you communicate. Both those, give exceptional service, deliver above expectations, follow up with the patient, with the client, with the customer, ask for the referral. Repeat the cycle with each and every single person. So this thing of just sending patient reminders that people need to be coming for the eye examination, we'll show you on another episode that we will do, how that entire process will change. Give thank you communication stuff to the consumer. So once that whole process, when people leave, send some form of communication to them that you thank them for coming to your practice. Once they are happy, boom, another one. Always ask yourself, what can you do to improve your business offering overall? And if there's one meeting that you could always have on a day-to-day basis, hey, guys, what was the highlight of the day? What was the low of the day? What can we improve on? Boom, next day, repeat. Have 30 to 1 hour meetings on a weekly basis and have 5 to 10 quick bites every single day. And that's going to help you make sure that the sales journey process of a person, of a patient or a consumer that come in your optometric practice, it's exceptional from start to finish. I hope you enjoyed that episode. We're out here at Norcom Optometrist, one of the most incredible optometric practices out here in the East Rand, headed by or under the leadership of Nanda Glover. Incredible leader, incredible team. So if you need anything, check them out. Check them on their website. They're doing a phenomenal job in providing exceptional care to their patients. And so I hope you enjoyed that episode. Watch out, we're going to go through these practice tips. There's 5 of them, and today we covered tip 1, but we've got we've got 11 tips spread out between 5 different practice guidelines. So we already covered practice guideline number 1, consumer analytics, and tip 1 was the sales journey process of a consumer in the optometric practice. Next time we're going to cover tip number 2 and tip number 3 within that section under practice guideline number 1. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure that you're following us on the different social media platforms and connect with us on our YouTube channel, where we're going to be putting up this series throughout the next few weeks, so that we've got practice tips that can sustain you for the last half of 2022. Take good care, everyone.